question we'll address is, what rate will I pay? We'll go through the taxes one by one. B&O tax rates range from 0.138% to 1.6%, depending on the classification. It is calculated on your gross income. There are no deductions for the costs of doing business, such as wages, supplies, travel expenses, and taxes. Rates are included with the tax return information you will receive from the Department of Revenue. If you e-file, the tax is automatically calculated for you when you select your B&O tax classification. You can also find the rates and classifications from the link at the end of this presentation. The public utility tax rates range from 0.642% to 5.029%, depending on the activity. Tax is calculated on gross income from utility activity. You can find the current rate that corresponds to your activity from the link at the end of this presentation. There are several components that make up the total amount of retail sales tax you will charge your customers. It always includes the state retail sales tax at a rate of 6.5%. It also includes local retail sales tax, with rates that vary by location. Depending on the situation, there are other taxes that may add to the total tax you have to collect. These are King County Food and Beverage Tax, rental car taxes, additional state motor vehicle sales tax, and various local taxes on lodging. You can find current rates from the link to the tax rate lookup tool or the list of sales and use tax rates found at the end of this presentation. Retail sales tax is calculated on the total amount of a sale or service. For retail sales, the rate is determined by the location where the customer receives the merchandise. This is the business location for over-the-counter sales or the place of delivery for shipments and deliveries. For retail services, the rate is determined by where you perform the service. You need to know the tax rates and location codes for the locations in which you are collecting sales tax. For example, if you make a sale from your store in Vancouver, you will charge the current sales tax rate for Vancouver. Then, when you file your tax return, you will report the sales tax using the location code for Vancouver. To find current location codes and tax rates, you can print the list of local sales and use tax rates or use the tax rate lookup tool. Again, we'll give you links to these at the end of the presentation. If you file by paper, Revenue will mail you the list of local sales and use tax rates each quarter. Rates can change quarterly, so it's important for you to know the current rates. You can sign up to receive quarterly email notices of rate changes. We'll give you a link to this too. Use tax, like retail sales tax, includes state tax and local tax. The state rate is 6.5%. The local rate varies based on where you first use the good. Use tax is calculated on the value of goods when first used in Washington. This is usually the purchase price and includes freight or delivery charges. Sometimes a depreciated value is determined if the goods are used outside the state for a lengthy time before use in Washington by the same person. You can find local rates on the Revenue website or from the links to the list of local sales and use tax rates and the tax rate lookup tool at the end of this presentation. The rate for litter tax is 0.015%. For retailers and wholesalers, it is calculated on the gross proceeds from sales of qualified products within Washington. Qualified products are those we mentioned earlier, like food for people or pets, cigarettes and tobacco products, and glass containers. For manufacturers, litter tax is calculated on the value of the goods. As a new business, the Employment Security Department will send you a notice with your unemployment insurance tax rate. Then, every December, your rate will be updated and the new rate will apply for the following year. Your unemployment insurance rate is determined by the type of work your business does, and, once you've been in business for a while, your claim history. Unemployment insurance taxes are charged based on the total compensation received by your employees. There is no difference in reporting temporary or non-permanent employees. If your employee receives in-kind compensation, like housing, a portion of the value is reportable as compensation. Your workers' compensation rate is based on your type of business and your claim history. Every December, you will receive a notice from Labor and Industries that tells you your hourly rate. Workers' compensation premiums are typically charged for each hour your employees actually work. You do not pay premiums when your workers are on sick leave, leave of absence, or taking vacation time. As the employer, you submit the entire premium, but you can deduct your employee's portion of the premium from their pay. Workers typically pay about 25% of the premium. Your rate notice will tell you how much you can deduct per hour for each employee.